Welcome to our energy update for week 6, the 2nd till 8th of February 2018. My name is Jona Bryndis. I am your energy coach and energy trainer here for this energy update for energetically sensitives, empaths, and awakenings. And what I am doing here is reflecting on collective energies. As most of you know, these are not coming from astrology or tarot cards or any other kind of channeling. They come from the reported and self-experienced sensations and visions here from energetically sensitives working at transCODES with myself and these wonderfully talented trans coaches that we have here at transCODES. Welcome back. Thank you for watching. We have a very intense week behind us, so I'm going to report a little bit about the most commonly reported sensations here from these empaths around the world, and then look into the overall situation, give a little bit of a forecast, and then we're going to talk about some of the energy tips, some of the things that you can do to proactively work with this. So let's look real quick at the energy barometer for collective energies coming up in these next 2 weeks. I did explain that about 2 weeks ago that we are heading towards a plateau, and we're still in the middle of it. And the overall theme here is this transition into a higher vibrational reality. Okay, it's this transition into harmonizing our physical with these increasing vibrations on, for our planet Earth, as well as our in general collective environment, which poses a few problems for our physical that lags behind. And so most of you have had really severe issues with, really just being in your body last week, extreme buzzing, very intense dreams and nightmares, really hard time just functioning on this physical level. And so the only thing that could get us out of this physical slump was to really go into taking it full frontal, really working with us here at transCODES. We had a fantastic Grace Mental Heart Fusion Marathon that helped us through these times of elevated intensity. And what happens in these times is that not only our environment reacts irrational, especially emotionally irrational, but also our own energies, they get sped up, and so they begin to overreact. So one of the tips that I gave last week is to calm yourself down, to calm your nerves down, because this was really it felt like electricity buzzing through you, and sometimes to the point where people actually reported out-of-body experiences last week, which can be very frightening. So fear was one of these irrational type of over drives that we could go into this last week, accompanied with a lot of head pressure, like lots of pressure here in your temples, in your around, feeling like you have a helmet on, extreme pain in your neck and your shoulders, as well as heart expansion pain, as we call it, this really strong pressure in your chest that feels almost like you're having a heart attack. Unless you have a heart condition, those are all signs of the energetic dynamics that are going on in the collective at this time. And last week was mostly, overcoming this barrier between our 3rd and 4th chakra and our 4th and 5th. So moving into true expression. This is what we are dealing with here when I talk about this transformational process of adjusting to higher vibratory energies. And you can imagine that, and you may not even need to have to imagine that, you probably experienced that yourself, that this can bring up quite a few core issues. So last week was interesting because something came in that was unexpected, and that triggered a lot of the guilt and the fear in us, which has to do with sexual energies. A lot of you experienced sexual dreams and sexual projection energies really messing with their heads, kind of reminding you of your transgressions of the past, or bringing in a lot of guilt. Guys, don't fall for these things, okay? These are things that come through the collective. And just to give you a heads up here, okay, when sexual energies come forward in this way, that you have these kind of dreams, or that you feel a really sort of weird, elevated physical need, then or a yearning for sex, what this means is really just that your life force energy, that was trapped, or that is trapped in your first and second chakra, is moving higher up, and it really wants to go into your third and fourth chakra right now, which means you have to stick with it and don't suppress it. Don't go into withholding, withdrawing, due to guilt or shame, because it's really about allowing that to go into the higher vibratory state, which is true connection. And true connection and true expression is, the preview here for the next 20 years of collective evolutionary task that we all have, namely to leave this externalized and disconnected place within, where our shadow hides, where our unresolved inner child aspects hide, that reinforce our powerlessness, that reinforce our anxiety, and that make us feel like we don't belong. So belonging will not be an issue anymore in 20 years, but until then we got a little bit of work to do. So if you can get through this without really falling into the drama of your mind and your emotion, which is what got triggered last week, and then you may actually begin to see that all of these learning experiences that you go through are here for a reason, and that is to guide you through your karmic task, which is to finally get to this place of fully expressing what you are, what you can offer to the collective, what you can offer to your communities, to your family, and what really represents your true inner calling. So we did beautiful work here this last week on connecting with our inner higher guidance and finding our true calling. And it is, guys, it is our unresolved inner child issues and the coping, the need for approval, the need for validation, the codependency, and the absence of healthy boundaries that keeps pulling us back into this struggle place. And so I really want you to understand that the overall situation that we're in is moving towards freedom. But in order to get there, we need to really understand that our ability to liberate ourselves and to claim this sovereignty as spiritual beings has a lot to do with, how congruent and how truthful we are within our own expression. So many of you find themselves in this place of seeking for purpose and meaning right now. And just so you know, the whole month of February will be a really, really good place to do this, to practice this, to train this, all right, to really feel this space, in which, or to allow yourself to explore the space in which you can find your true expression. And for that, we need to go into honestly reflecting on what makes us strong and what makes us weak. And this will be a big one here for this next week. Namely, of course, you know it already, looking at your energetic conditions. What is your daily energetic exposure? What do you even have the right conditions in your life to manifest the things that you put on your New Year's resolutions? Just as an example, if you want to get a pet and you live in an apartment that doesn't allow pets, the conditions are kind of like not that good, right? So while our core needs, our core fears are being triggered here, we really need to go into, asking ourselves, okay, what is it that I need to go through these core fears, these core dependencies that keep on revisiting my life? What allows me to feel safe enough to explore this space, to make mistakes, and to be less afraid of the outer judgment and the guilt and the shame that we've stored in our energy body. So if you look at the collective energy barometer, you'll see that this is not really moving anywhere. It's going actually a little more towards the red. So we're still in this 3-week plateau that I mentioned 2 weeks ago, which is why I came up with this 21 days breaking through the matrix programming life energy training. If you haven't had a look at this yet, here, go to my YouTube channel and check out the playlist. This is a treasure, guys. I mean, I'm giving away everything there, the entire sacred self-healing lessons, and a lot more. So please tune into this, because we're really taking things apart. But this plateau that I mentioned 2 weeks ago is a sort of 3-week, 21-day sort of sideways movement of things, just rehashing the same things over and over and over again, with a tiny little nuance of new energies coming in. So the new energies that are coming in now for this next week are our ability to connect with our higher perception, to connect with our true vision, and to see into the future, to be able to connect things with the larger picture more, and hopefully to get out of this place, it's just me, it's all about me. And by the way, thank you so much for sharing where you guys are from. I can see you, and the reason why I'm doing this live, as always, is to read your comments, share with me how you felt this last week, not just with me, also with everybody who's watching this right now, because this plays directly into this feeling of belonging and safety, namely knowing that you are not alone with this. You are not alone with this, guys. That's why I do these energy updates. All right, so if you've had these sensations in the last week, or even those sexual dreams that I mentioned, it is not just you. Okay, you may be picking up on a lot of sexual energies released in your collective, in your direct environment. Okay, so here you will be able to connect really well with another of these energies that is coming in for the next week, and that's boundaries and protection. You have to move into that place of fully being able to sense your energetic space, to inhabit it and to protect it. If not, you have no clue what is influencing you from the outside, and you think it's you, and you go into the self-bashing and into this like continual and persistent self-beat up, reinforcing, re-energizing your traumas and why you can't do things. So you've got to liberate yourself from that loop, because that is what's holding you back. And it's not going to get easier this next week. In fact, if you can feel those energies come in, that's great for you. But as for the collective, this will stir up even more things. And I want to pick up on these wounds, traumas, abuse, and sexual energies, because they will shake the world this next week. What is coming forward, guys, and you already feel this, you know this as energetically sensitives, is the unwinding and revealing of the major injustice in regards to our children, in regards to some of the pedogate stuff, in regards to violated femininity. And I want to make a big point here by emphasizing that this is not about feminism. This is about the feminine energy of nurturing and protecting the space of our family, of our core home, our core safety, our home base, right? And this has been violated and is continually being violated. And you will probably hear a lot about some really shocking things in regards to abuse of children trafficking, women's trafficking in conjunction with sexual abuse. And those of you who are parents of young children, I cannot stress this enough. This is an extremely serious issue. And, social media, Skype, Facebook, Instagram are the new playgrounds for those kind or platforms for those kind of continual abuse and violation of our boundaries into our homes. Please pay attention to what your children watching, what they're engaging in, and especially who they're talking to. This is not to be taken onto or lightly. This is a big issue in our society. This needs to be revealed, and institutions such as Facebook need to take responsibility for this. We too as parents, we too as humans here, but it cannot be that all these technologies are ultimately making us more unsafe, more imprisoned, and more violated. Please, please pay attention to this. And those of you who have this feeling that you need to do something to serve others, bring this out in the open. Help this overall collective revealing process to expedite. We need to open this up. And if you have been a victim of this kind of abuse, stalking, violating boundaries through others in regards of your children or yourself, then go out in the open. Share your story. This is what helps others to know that they're not alone. The reason why nobody talks about these things is because we get caught in guilt and shame. And we need to overcome this now. We cannot continue a society that is trying to move into truth by keeping those kind of secrets. This has to come out, yes, and this is not a easy or joyful process. This is a painful process for us as a whole society. But we need to face that as the collective shadow that needs to come forward so that we can all heal and move into higher vibratory places together. Yes, and the violation of being human by technology, Matthew, thank you for commenting on this, is something that will continue to be a top theme here for the next 20 years. Transhumanism, as Cliff High or some others call it, the dangers of artificial intelligence and so forth, those are real threats. You know me, I'm not, afraid of technology, and I'm a big proponent of integrating technology into our journey and into our harmonization process with 3D. But you've got to be clear where your boundaries are. And this will play out especially here in your personal relationships in this last week, if this hasn't already started by the end of last week. You're going to have to really become aware of your codependencies and co-addictions. You're going to have to tell people off. You're going to have to really stake your space and more, claim more space. But first, you're going to have to remove all the violators out of your personal life. And the same will happen on a collective level. Codependency, as you know, is a big subject, and we spent quite a bit of time, different kinds of energy modalities on this here within transCODES. You cannot really deal with some of your relationship patterns if you are not aware of some of your unhealed inner stuff. And codependency always, always, always points at unresolved inner child issues that are running your life. Now, we all have unresolved inner child issues, and I just talked about this here a few minutes ago in day 14 of the 21 days. So please go see this video if you would like to know more about this. But at the core of it is really our ability to feel our true feelings. And this next week brings in the need to go into expression with this, to tell people off, to really say, hey, I do not appreciate that when you do this. And many of you energetically sensitives will feel this in your dreams. You will feel this in your etheric. And of course, all these etheric consolidation and protection techniques that are needed for this, you've got to open yourself up to learn those things, because it is time to accept that this is the new reality. The new reality is that we interact with people on an energetic level at all times, whether you can see it or not, whether you're aware of it or not, whether your inner child likes it or not. All right, so please take this seriously. Open yourself up, explore, what you can do to discern your energies better, to work your energies better, and to embody your spiritual being. Because without this, guys, you're going to be trapped in that karmic collective experience that we call matrix. On the earth changes level next week, things are cooking, guys. Things are cooking. I don't expect any big outbreaks yet. I see this more in 2 weeks from now, like around the partial solar eclipse that is coming in. But as of right now, you'll feel the escalation in all of these areas, and you will feel that pressure cooker again, and it will make people emotionally irrational, or it will, and this is what happened last week as well, drives them into over rationality, like completely dissociating and looping in their minds. If you suffer from anxiety, it's time. You're gonna have to investigate this, because you're gonna get caught in that collectively, more so than you already are within your own loops. So this is my overall energy tip for dealing with next week's energies, is to be proactive, go full frontal, examine your energies, feel your energy body, feel your boundaries, so that you can better protect them. If you don't know who you are, what your boundaries are, it's very difficult for you to express that. Yes. And, the beginning of next week will start out with, a lot of lovingness and the opportunity to connect, with others. And that will show you the way, allow your inner guidance to fill you up with synchronicities and inner promptings, so that you can begin to feel what it feels like to really go into synergy and really feel, more at balance from within. It is, the masculine protectiveness and the feminine protectiveness, this sort of stewardship that comes in through mother and father energies that we need to align to become able to withstand this blow to our boundaries, to being violated Forget your transgressions of the past. Write them down on a piece of paper and deal with them. This is inventory making. This is there are great tools, to do this. But don't let this run your perception and your ability to look farther. You have to connect with this part in you now that can look farther than just the fear of the crash, the fear of the, oh my God, what if my secret is being revealed? You've got to be able to connect with the bigger picture here. All right. So next week is all this inner child stuff is moving into your third chakra, so it may blow out of proportion a little bit. Tantrums and some sort of over control mechanisms may come in next week, but only really to break through these walls around our heart, that enables the true expression. And some of the things that you have stuck here in your throat, thymus thumping can actually help with that, to allow this energy from moving further up and release some of these stored intense energies here in your neck and jaw area. They are very important that you embrace that. That has to do with this exploring part and the proactiveness of it. But once more, only to lead you to the larger picture, to lead you to understanding what comes after that. What comes after that? What lies beyond it? Okay, what are you doing this for? And some of the core questions here that you can ask yourself to actively work on this is, first of all, the question of how do I want things. It's not only about what I want, it's also about how I want them, because this will lead you to the true expression part, the congruence aspect of this. Then the reflection into your conditions. Do I even have the right conditions? And then go very practical in, what do I need to overcome my fear? Yes, I need to feel loved. I need to feel safe. But what is it practically that you need to be in that place? Last week we talked about getting rid of the stuff that no longer serve you. This week is about adding the things that will help you, that will serve you, to build this new beginning, to build these new foundations for a liberated existence, and not one that is caught in the paradox, in the dualism of the human experience. Remember, we are at a place in our human collective evolution that ties us into major crossroads, this bifurcation that I have been talking about for years. And there'll be those of us who will be caught in the matrix experience, in this karmic collective experience, which will be the majority of people. And then there will be a part of our population that will be able to out-vibrate all that. So if you want to know what out-vibrating the collective means, please watch the 21 days of breaking through your matrix programming. It'd be too much for me to explain this here again. Also, ask yourself, what it really is that re-energizes your lack of boundaries. Like, do you project your energies out? Do you project your anger or your blame or your control onto others? Those are things that tie you into this entrapment, okay? The etheric interaction between people that I mentioned early and over again, there's lots of articles written on transCODES where I've explained the dynamics and the mechanics of etheric interaction between people. This is going to become your reality whether you want it or not, whether you're ready for this or not. Okay? So accept that you're an energetic being. I would strongly recommend everyone to really educate yourself in this. Learn your energy centers. Here at transCODES we have our most popular energy training intensive come up tomorrow, namely learning, you know, your energies and reading them and beginning to work with them. It's called the Energetic Perception Intensive. If you are interested in how to practically, you know, do this and train this, then go to the transCODES website and sign up for this intensive. You can do this from home. It's changing the way you see yourself and everything along with this. Furthermore, on the practical, on a physical level, next week we'll continue with headaches. People who have a tendency to migraines will probably be challenged again. Okay, and if you're still dealing with this respiratory thing that has been going around for like 6 to 8 weeks, then I have a few tips for you. First of all, in conjunction with all of that is still the release, you know, of toxins, the detoxing. And some of you I know have followed my advice and done like a 3-day reboot fast. Here now for this week, it's not so much the first chakra release, it's more the release on your stored fear and anger, and that happens in your liver. And the biochemical or a neurotransmitter hormone aspect of that is your thyroid. And I would strongly recommend you to use foods that help to clear out your or restart your lymphatic system. Work with that because that's your natural way of changing your biochemistry. And there's wonderful videos out there. You can also look this up on my blog site, foods that support your lymph system. You can also, you know, do a lymph drainage or something like that. But it's all about releasing those stored biochemicals out of your cells, out of your cell memory. On a practical level, this week, work with turmeric, rosemary, oregano, and thyme. They will help on all these different levels with your respiratory and your cleaning out your liver as well. We just had French onion soup, my all-time favorite, to help clear my system out. You can also work with teas. Yesterday I've come across a recipe, almond milk cooked with turmeric and ginger. Really helps to do both, to help to calm the whole entire system, to calm your coughing too if you have some, and to strengthen your system from within. Not to mention oregano oil as one of those natural antibiotics that you can use if you're tough enough. So those are all very strong herbs. So I would suggest you read this up or consult a naturopathic doctor who can help you with the dosage. You know, you don't want to overdose. You just want to like really tune your system into teas. I find are usually a really mild way of doing that. Yes. On an emotional level, you know, it's really about releasing this stored pain memory that I just talked about. There are some things that you can do, such as, you know, light movements. And I always recommend you to find movements that also do other things, not just going to the gym, okay? So that also help to balance your emotions. I personally find dancing one of the most beautiful things to balance my physical and my emotional at the same time. Also for this, for the next 2-3 weeks, it'd be really cool if you could go into sort of manual work, you know, maybe do mudras, if you know what this is, or go, you know, knitting or doing crafts that will help, you know, to release some of that stored pain memory. And on a mental level, you know, it's really about exploring what this new freedom can bring you. to give yourself space to explore. Maybe set a time frame for yourself, where you say, okay, the next 3 months, I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to start a new training course or something that I've always wanted to do, like a photography course or whatever. Explore museums or go to concerts, to just see, how this can inspire me. It could also be, just overcoming some of your core fears that you're already aware of and really taking them on full frontally. On a behavioral or relationship level, understand that in this next week is a strong pull into karmic patterns, into karmic relationships. We'll have a karmic relationship clearing here at transCODES in a public session coming up in 2 weeks. But these sessions, like all our energy training and healing sessions, can be booked as private sessions as well. If you feel the need, then please check our shop, how to sign up for this. Yes, you will be pulled into karmic things again, into your past again, and I strongly recommend you to look at the connection here. What is it that is repeating? What is the pattern? And on an energetic level, probably the best thing you can do right now to connect with your higher vision and to really tune into the energy of that is to dedicate your contemplation or meditation sessions to connecting with your future self. Your future self, and I'm not going to explain retrocausality here, but your future self already knows all the solutions and all the things that you need to get past all these impedances, these challenges that you have. So it's a higher vibratory form of yourself that has already resolved all these issues and part of your inner higher guidance system. So go and connect with your heart, do the I am breathing and connect with your future self and listen to it, because it can give you the guidance that you need in this moment when you can't see the future, when you can't see the bridge to where you want to be. It will show you the way. The solutions are already in you. Yes, and Melly, last night you felt the pain of the world closing in. But after the meditation, it flipped into energizing passion. Yes, us empaths need to be very careful with not being pulled into that pain and that fear that we are working with, or that is coming in right now. This is not your job to heal the world, guys. It is your job to heal yourself, and thus, with that, become of service and support to the world's own healing process. This includes the planet as well as, ethnic, social, political layers, of our collective, but also the human collective as such. So if you are looking for ways how you can bring out your true talents, how you can be of service, which is exactly where this needs to go, then start the process of directing your energy inwardly, and don't look so much at your partner or your family or the society at large. Heal yourself from within. This will allow you to connect with what society or what other people truly need. But you cannot really tune into this unless you've gone through this process yourself. Yeah, so connecting with your future self can help you to find that bridge within yourself. Try it. All right, everybody, I have to get ready here for the Crypto Spiritual Weekly. As you know, I've separated the crypto news from the energy updates. So in 10 minutes from now, same channel, I'm going to be talking about the cryptocurrency market, why I bring this in conjunction with collective energies, and how this is playing out in that market with a little bit of a forecast. I wish you guys heads up, hang in there. There's one more week, okay? And then things can calm down just a little bit, you know, in 2 weeks from now. But then things are looking much brighter. So try to look at the brighter future, or try to find that brighter future in you. It's already there. Thank you for your time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to like this video. Love you guys. Bye-bye.